Let's talk about the journey of a human being. The moment sperm interacts with the egg, sperm loses its identity. Sperm is no longer a sperm, and the egg is not an egg anymore. They are combined and they turn into a zygote. And that zygote grows, multiplies, turns into an embryo. It attaches itself to the womb wall and grows there. And the physical birth happens, the baby comes out. He or she cannot see anything yet. Everything is black and white, closed eyes, just smelling sensation is there. As time progresses, as time passes by, babies start seeing things. And the first thing that I noticed, babies look at something like their fingers. They start observing it. They have no clue what it is, but there's some kind of a movement going on, and there's some kind of an object there. They observe, they look at it. As time progresses, babies start feeling, sensing, tasting, a lot of different stages they go through. You can just have a look at all psychology books, or you can observe the actual babies, how they grow. And then something miraculous starts happening. People start calling that baby with their name. And they keep repeating it. John, hey John, look at me John, love you John, beautiful, look at John, we love you John, John, come here, have some food. John, 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 for everything. John doesn't know who John is, he's a tiny little baby, and even until a certain age, which is around 1 year old, John says, John is hungry. He doesn't even associate himself with the name and with the body. Almost he talks like a third person. He says, John is hungry. John has to go to toilet, right? So keep that in mind. But at some stage during that transition period, John starts calling himself I. I am hungry. I want it. Mine. It starts with the mind. And you can talk to parents and they will talk to you about the toddler problems, about me and mine, and the fights over little things and etc., and the cries and the tantrums that they come. And that time of saying I and mine is at the same time when they're cutting the teeth are coming out. So there's something in mind and brain, the teeth comes out around that time of an infancy. Then we build the sense of I. Ego is not fully formed yet. The mind was like an empty blank sheet, but it starts being formulated. It's just writes on it. Society writes on it. Parents write on it. Religion write on it. Depending on where the baby was born, depending on the tradition and the family and the tribe, starts constructing the identity. It grows. When they are around 5 to 6 years old, there's a threshold there. They had everything they need. They have copied their parents. They have seen their emotions. They have seen their reactions. They have seen the way they operate. That is registered. And they start going to school and they start seeing the other children, dealing with them and then learning from them as well. They start watching tablets and YouTube and streaming, and then they start learning more. Everything is imprinted. So that little tiny speck of nothingness turn into a fully functioning human being with a well-built ego on top of it. That ego starts owning the body. That is the first step that we put on. This body is mine. Thoughts are mine, and my surroundings are mine. So the possession starts happening. Human being goes through life like that, goes through teenage years, becomes a young adult, looking for a job, finds a job, looking for a wife or a husband or partner, finds one if he's or she is lucky, and then later on maybe a kid and better paying job, and it goes and on and on and on. Then we all get lost in the mainstream thinking. We have religious pressures, we have society pressures, we have financial pressures, we have family, tribe, everything around us pressures, and then we internalize them and we pressure ourselves. Then we call it living. However, on the contrary, we are dead. We're not even alive. We're not even functioning because we are alive. We are on autopilot from there on. We're lost in thinking, we are anxious, and we try to numb ourselves. That is where we go on to watching TV series, we go to holidays, we want to drink, we want to do, you name it, everything, so that we can numb and forget about it, and we feel some kind of a joy out of life. We feel a little bit of aliveness feeling when we do all this escapism. If you're lucky, if you're clever, if you're smart, if there's a spark within you, something starts being ignited here, right in your heart. You start questioning. You say, is this all about it? Is this why I'm alive? To find a job, get a family, and then kids, and then grow old and die, and in between try to get as much as pleasure as possible and run away from the fear as much as possible, and pain, run away from it. Is it? Or there is more to life? And when you start questioning that, then you start questioning why this earth exists, why we are here, and what needs to happen to be a true human being. And it's not a journey that you can walk alone. So what happens is you start looking for things. You start going on to seminars, reading self-help books. You go all the traditions and religions, you go deep. They still give you a formulated structure, meaning of life. This is the point that questioning, that reading, that understanding, that trying to experience starts turning your life around, and you start seeing things in a different way. And again, if you're lucky, you have a guide, someone who walked this path before you, who will explain things to you in a way that it ignites the questioning inside you. It ignites the feeling of next step. It gives you the sensation of there's more to it, and asks you to question. Does not give you direct answers, but almost coaches you as you go along the way. I'm not talking about a life coach. I'm not talking about a mentor. I'm talking about a guide who walked this path and knows that what is real. When I look at nature, I see what is real. Only when my thoughts are dormant, relaxed, my brain is silent, then I can look with a clear vision, with no pressure, with no anxiety, with no problems. I purely look at it without me and my problems and my story. So towards the end of this journey, you realize that you do not exist from an ego-centered way, but you exist from a beingness way. And that beingness is like being in nature, being one with nature, seeing the world as it is and understanding it as it is, with no separation, no division. There is no woman or man. There is human being. There is no upper class, lower class. There is only human being. There is no black, there is no white. There is only human being. There is no left wing, right wing. There is only human being. So you are coming to the unity and uniting in one single spot that you call me, which is the whole humanity. Then you realize and empathize and feel the compassion that everybody is going through the same challenges, same problems. They have the same misery going on in their lives, and you are the same. You and the humanity are same. And if you can change yourself, then you change life on earth. And if you feel responsible about it, if you're serious about it, then life on earth will change. Much love and peace out.